Great to see you both again. Thank you for your time.
What's up, Jay? Good to see you, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, hi.
Awesome. I will go ahead and get started. So my first question is for Kayleigh. The JJK fandom has not gotten to see much of Yuta since JJK Zero. What was your approach to his reintroduction, and was there any special direction you received for it?
Yeah, mostly it was trying to portray a character who is older and has done some maturing and who I felt was, being put in this situation that he didn't want to be in, but felt that there wasn't anybody better than him to do it because once you watch it, you'll know he had a plan, and that was not actually kill the main character. I don't think that's controversial to say, um, and so he had to pretend like a villain, almost, and so I wanted to portray a person portraying villainy, but in a way that it's a show he's putting on, because he has to, and he's not, I felt like probably not very happy that he's doing so. I feel like we see that on screen. And so mostly it was just finding that nuance and that line to get us through it, while also, giving the treat of a very cool fight, that everybody is, going to be at the edge of their seats for, without betraying that.
And for Adam, with season three, Yuji is obviously a lot more formidable, even being called the demon god. I think that's a great label by Choso. As his
Yeah.
power and confidence grows, has that affected your approach to the character overall?
Interesting. I would say that what I love about Yuji is that he remains consistent no matter what kind of power upscale he gets. I don't think he's walking around acting like he's more formidable. I think he is still a good boy that just happens to be really talented and good at all of these things. I think he's using those tools to help people, which is what he's kind of always set out to do. Um, but yeah, as far as from a technical standpoint, from a voice acting standpoint, there are, post the Shibuya incident, Yuji does have these more intense moments, a little bit more grounded, a little less kind of like oblivious, happy guy. And so those moments I want to just honor the intensity and all of that. So I do think there is a reflection in the voice work, as far as all of that goes. But character wise, like even though he is getting more powerful, I do believe that he is still our good boy, deep down.
And this next question is for both of you. Like you mentioned previously, the two of you started off season three with an incredible fight. What was it like recording that fight? And do you think it finally answered the question of who the real main character is?
Actually, the real main character discourse is one. It's just so fun to me. I poke fun at it all of the time in my own, social media videos and stuff like that. Um, no, I think the jury is still out on who the MC is. That means people have to keep watching to see. No, I'm just kidding.
The real main character
Yeah.
is you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are the fans along the way? No, I think it was cool. It was cool to finally see Yuji and Yuta together in the same scene. And to be honest with you, one of my favorite things is them on the same team. So the fact that we are sort of now past this um, I don't know what would happen if they fight thing. Like it just couldn't have been handled in a cooler way. And now we get to see what happens when they're all working together for the same cause. And I think as with other characters in this story, um, I think other I think all the characters serve their purpose for the story as a whole. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Adam. I think the most exciting thing is now, as we ramp up, it's going to be first it was, oh, how cool will it be to see them fight? And now it's, how cool will it be to see them fight together?
Yeah.
Amazing. And the
Yuji's
next
a real
question is
team.
also
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, all right, all right.
What was
We'll
that?
get into this. Listen, one of us had the first theatrical release.
That's true.
And while many of these fights in season three have yet to air, obviously, both of your characters have entered the Culling game or preparing to have fight after fight after fight. How do you make each individual fight feel meaningfully distinct from others?
I think obviously a big part of it is the writing is just so good at positioning the characters' mental landscapes in different places for each fight. Because every fight in Jujutsu Kaisen has a unique reason behind it. It's not a shonen anime where it's, they have this one goal and they're just pushing through everybody that gets in their way to get to it, which can be compelling. But I think unique among anime with a lot of action, Jujutsu Kaisen is really, explorative and character driven, that causes these conflicts to be necessary, and they can be for wildly different reasons. Gaining information versus, struggling immensely just to hold yourself together and stop more damage. It makes our job easier to find the motivation in some ways, and a challenge to portray that complexity in other ways.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. There's some fights coming in season 3 that I've looked forward to for a really long time, and they are very character defining fights. And like Kayleigh said, it's the writing. What I love about a lot of the fights Yuji is in is it's not a fight to go fight. It's not a fight because if I fight this person, I'm gonna be stronger. Like that is not Yuji at all. That is, if anything, it's like, okay, I guess I'll fight. Like kind of picking himself up to do it, and then when he does, still remaining who he is, even in the context of like something as intense as a fight. So we get more character revelations. We learn more about him as he goes. It's just such an incredible. It's such an incredible thing to get to play as an actor, and it's also just so incredibly well written and fun to watch that I think that's also what fans resonate with. Is the fights are epic, the animation is amazing, but they are also character driven, like Kayleigh said. So, yeah.
Definitely agree. I have time for one more quick one, so I'll ask this. If you could pick one curse technique from the series as your own, which would you pick?
Wait.
Ooh.
Oh, Infinite Void. That's what I'd pick. Yeah.
I'm an avid collector game player, Pokemon, Digimon, all of that. So I would want Gatos. I want to collect cursed spirits.
Amazing.
Actually, I'm changing my answer because it's too easy. I'm picking Boogie Woogie. There you go.
Ooh, good
Yeah.
pick. Well, amazing. Those are all my questions. Thank you both for your time.
Awesome, Jay. Thanks. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Good to see you.